What's up guys, and welcome to the Feral Druid guide here on TGN with me, Venom. And before we jump into the guide, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Now, this is the beginner's Feral guide. The beginner's one and the advanced one are going to be two separate guides. The beginner's one is going to be fairly long, and it's going to pretty much explain everything that you need to know about Feral. It's going to explain talent trees, glyphing. It's going to explain everything that you need to know to get into playing a Feral Druid. If you want to not watch this one and watch the advanced one, then that's perfectly fine if you've already been playing Feral, but this one will give you little hints and tips and little dabbly bits into Feral that you might not know if you've already been playing Feral. So it's you've never been playing Feral too long to watch a beginner's guide. So if you're thinking that this is going to be a guide for scrubs, this is completely not the case. This is going to educate you from the ground upwards. I'm going to miss absolutely nothing. Everything about talents, everything about glyphing, everything about specs, everything is going to be in this guide. This is going to be a long ass video, guys, so I hope you're ready for it. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get started. So, when you spec into Feral, you will first get Mangle. Mangle increases your bleed damage by 30% upon a target at all times. This should be at all times active. It should never drop off a target. It lasts for a minute, so you will always always have the amount of energy you need to reapply Mangle to keep that 30% damage booster on your bleeds up at all times. It should always be up. Never let it fall off. Feral Instinct. This just basically decreases the chance that your enemies have to detect you whilst prowling. Prowling is stealth for a Feral Druid. Aggression, this increases your attack power by 25%. This is awesome because it stacks with some other things that you have to spec into later on. Vengeance and Savage Defender you don't have to worry about just yet. Well, you don't have to really worry about it at all, but hey ho. Mastery Razor Claws. Now, this is something that you really want to pay attention to. This increases the damage done by your bleed abilities by 25%, and each point of mastery increases the bleed damage by an additional 3.1%. Not every point of mastery that you get will increase your bleed damage. So, say for instance you get a piece of gear with 90 mastery on it. That doesn't mean that you get 90 points of mastery. Those amount of points contribute towards 1 point of mastery. So let's spec into Feral. The first spec we're going to talk about in Feral is the aggressive Feral spec. Now, what you want to do is you want to take 2 points in Feral Swiftness, you want to take 2 points in Predatory Strikes, 1 point in Fura. We might come back here. 2 points in Fury Swipes. This is the thing that makes the difference between the aggressive spec, the balance spec, and the defensive spec. You want to take 2 points in Fury Swipes, 2 points in Infected Wounds, 2 points in Primal Fury, 2 points in Feral Aggression, 2 points in a point in Feral Charge, 2 points in Stampede, 3 points in King of the Jungle, 1 in Leader of the Pack, 1 in Survival Instincts, 2 in Primal Madness, 2 in Endless Carnage, 3 in Rend and Tear. Then you'll want to take 2 in Nurturing Instinct, or you could take 2 in Brutal Impact. I prefer to go with both. So you take both of those, but let's just say for the sake of the argument that we're taking Brutal Impact here because it's a fully aggressive spec. So we've taken Brutal Impact, and then we go for Berserk, 1 point in that. Then we go over to Restoration, where we take Heart of the Wild. Then we take Natural Shapeshifter, and then we spend our last point in Master Shapeshifter. This is the most aggressive Feral spec. Now you do have 4 points left, where you can put you can put them in Fury Swipes, or you can put them in Nurturing Instinct, like I was going to earlier. Or you can put them in Fura. Now, I would recommend putting 2 points in Fura, and then taking 2 points in Nurturing Instinct. You don't really. The spec I play with is the balance spec. but I like to, in the aggressive feral spec, I still like to have a fair amount of survivability, so I still take the Nurturing Instinct, but yet keep the Fury Swipes for the extra damage. Let's take a look at the balanced spec, which I personally prefer. Okay, so we're going to make a balanced spec now. We go to Feral Combat. Again, you get all the same things. So what we do is we spec 2 points into Predatory Strikes, 2 points in Feral Swiftness, 2 points in Fura, 2 points in Primal Fury. We miss out Fury Swipes because I don't think that you get enough auto attacks off for it to be worth it. 2 points in Infected Wounds, 2 points in Feral Aggression, 3 points in Thick Hide, 1 point in Feral Charge, 2 points in Stampede, 3 points in King of the Jungle, 1 point in Leader of the Pack, 2 points in Primal Madness, 1 point in Survival Instincts, 2 points in Endless Carnage, 2 points in Nurturing Instinct, 2 points in Brutal Impact, 2 points in Natural Reaction, 3 points in Rend and Tear, 1 point in Berserk, 3 points in Heart of the Wild, and I made a mistake and put the points in Thick Hide by accident. You take the points out of Thick Hide, don't bother with that. Put 2 points in Natural Shapeshifter and 1 point into Master Shapeshifter. This leaves you with 1 point left, which you can then spend in Thick Hide if you wish, which is where I went wrong, sorry about that. You can either spend that in Thick Hide, or you can spend it in Fura. I would recommend spending it in Thick Hide, just because it gives you a little bit more survivability, but also if you're coming out and in of Cat form a lot to Cyclone and etc, etc, maybe you've got a squishy partner that you have to heal up with every 5 combo points that you use, I would recommend going for Fura. That's the spec that I play with. I personally play with this exact spec. So let's take a look at the fully defensive feral spec. Okay, now let's take a look at the fully defensive feral spec. You will basically want to spec 2 points into Predatory Strikes, 2 in Feral Swiftness, 2 in Fura. You want to miss out Infected Wounds and Fury Swipes. You'll want to take 2 in Primal Fury. You'll want to take 2 in Feral Aggression. You'll want to take 3 in Thick Hide for that extra armor, because this is a defensive spec, remember. You'll want to take 1 in Feral Charge. You'll want to take 2 in Stampede. You'll want to take 3 in King of the Jungle. Then you'll want to get Leader of the Pack, which is 1 point. Then you'll want to spend 2 points in Brutal Impact, 2 points in Nurturing Instinct, 2 points in Natural Reaction for the extra heals, and the extra heals in Nurturing Instinct goes nicely with that. 1 point in Survival Instinct, 2 points in Primal Madness, Rend and Tear 3 points, no 2 points, sorry, Berserk 1 point, and then you'll want to spend 3 points in Heart of the Wild, 2 points in Natural Shapeshifter, 1 point in Master Shapeshifter, and 3 points in Preserviance, or however the hell you say that. This reduces your spell damage taken by 6%. Now, Feral Druids have a fairly limited survivability against casters, such as Frost Mages, Affliction Warlocks when they get the upper hand on you, which isn't that often, but if they do get the upper hand on you and they manage to fully dot you up, you are so screwed. You are so screwed. If they can keep those dots up on you and you can't get to them because they're kiting you, you are fucked. Because they do so much spell damage to you that it's just, you might as well just roll over and die. So taking Preserviance along with Thick Hide, Nurturing Instinct, and Natural Reaction all goes well with basically surviving in arena or surviving in battlegrounds. I would recommend taking this spec if you want to be a flag carrier. It's a really good flag carrier spec because you can still move at a fair amount of speed, because you can feral charge to get, like, you know, if you're getting ganked in one area and there's someone that's running towards you but in a place where you need to be, you just feral charge that guy and then you're out of the area where you're being ganked, and then you can just keep running. So I'd recommend taking this if you want to be a flag carrier for Rated Battlegrounds, because it is awesome. I've flag carried a few times in Rated Battlegrounds with this spec, and it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It doesn't do a load of damage, but it does keep you alive. especially against spellcasters with the 6% damage spell damage reduction. It might not seem a lot, but trust me, you'll notice the difference. You really do. Okay, now let's get on to looking at some glyphs. Okay, now if you're looking for glyphs, what you'll want to do is you'll want to go into Prime, and just so you guys know, the glyphs for the offensive feral build and the like the balanced feral build are exactly the same. At least the Prime glyphs are exactly the same. The major and the minor don't really have that much of an influence on how offensive or defensive it is, but it sort of does, but it sort of doesn't. Now you'll see what I mean. So the Berserk, you'll want to take Berserk, which gives you an extra 10 seconds on your Berserk, which is Imber. You'll want to take Rip, which gives you a 15% damage increase on your Rip, which is awesome because it stacks with your Tiger's Fury 15% damage, which gives you 30% damage, extra damage on your Rip, which is insane. You'll want to take Shred, which basically increases the damage, increases the duration of your Rip on the target by 2 seconds of a maximum to 6. So if you shred 3 times, you'll get an extra 6 seconds on your Rip. Now the dots don't overlap each other. They do overlap each other, which means that the tick timer, so you get like tick, 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 and they don't like they overlap each other, which means that it won't fuck up your timers, which means that the dot will just keep ticking as if nothing happened. So that's really, really awesome, and it's very, very well, like a very, very well thought out glyph, especially for PvE and PvP. Like I said, major and minor glyphs don't really make all that much difference, but for the fully offensive spec, I would probably take, what would I take? Fully offensive, I'd probably go with Feral Charge for the uptime, Fairy Fire for the, well, increases range of Fairy Fire by 10 yards, so if you need to get someone's armor down by however much percent Fairy Fire does these days, it basically increases the range on that. And I'd probably take Bark Skin, so you've got a little bit more survivability instead of just, you will just get train wrecked. I mean, as a fully offensive feral druid, you have to have some survivability. That's why you still take some survival stuff in the tree, such as Survival Instincts and the Bark Skin glyph. But the minor glyphs, like I said, don't make any difference. As long as you've got the dash glyph, no one cares. As long as you've got the dash glyph, no one cares. Because obviously, like I said, it's your root breaker, so just have at it. Okay, so we're gonna skip the balanced build because, like I said, the balanced build and the fully offensive build are basically the same. The only difference within the balanced and the fully offensive build, as it goes with glyphs, you would take Pounce, you'd take Feral Charge, and you'd take Bark Skin. That's the setup that you'd have. You'd have Berserk, Rip, Shred, Pounce, Feral Charge, Bark Skin, Dash, and then whatever you want. So now let's move on. Okay, let's take a look at the most offensive opener that you can possibly do as a feral druid. What you'll want to do is you'll want to feral charge in, you'll want to open up with a Pounce, and then you'll want to use your Tiger's Fury, then use Mangle, then use Rake. Right after Rake, you'll want to put your Berserk up, and then use your free Ravage. Then, once at 5 combo points, you'll want to Rip, and then begin generating combo points through using Shred. Once at 5 combo points, you'll want a Ferocious Bite straight off the bat to get that burst damage, and then just carry on shredding to 5 combo points, and then as soon as your bleeds are about to fall off, you'll just want to straight away put them back up. So if you're using a dot timer, you'll want to probably put it up in the last sort of 1 and a bit second. And that's basically how you do the most bursty feral rotation. Let's move on to see the least bursty feral rotation, but it gives you a lot more uptime on your target. I personally like to use the one that gives a lot more uptime because, well, it gives you a lot more uptime. So let's go and take a look. Okay, so here's the least bursty feral rotation you can do, but it gives you a lot more uptime, so it's good. So what you want to do is you want to feral charge in, open up with a pounce, then you'll want to open up with a mangle, then use your berserk, then rake, use your free ravage, rip, and then shred to 5 combo points. I missed there with a rip for some reason, but then you want to keep shredding to 5 combo points, and then once you're at 5 combo points and you don't have anything to do with those 5 combo points, you can ferocious bite and then just keep going at the shredding, because you've still got Tiger's Fury to give you energy back. So basically when you get to 5 combo points and you still need to put your rip back up and you've got, say, 90 energy, you can just keep those 5 combo points and keep shredding, but still make sure that you've got enough energy to put rip back up, like I do here. As you can see, I Tiger's Fury to get my rip back up because I wasn't at enough energy, so then I can continue DPSing. Sometimes you just have to conserve your energy enough so you can get your debuffs back up on a target, because as a feral druid, your debuffs are the most important thing that you can put up on a target. Ferocious Bite does not do that much damage. It does do loads when it crits, but when it doesn't crit, there's not a fat lot of damage in it, so it's always best to get your bleeds up first. Okay, so let's talk about stats. As far as stats go, you'll want to pick up 5% hit rating, as if you're gearing up for playing feral. If you're gearing up for playing feral at level 85, you want to make sure that the gear that you've bought or the gear that you're saving up to buy has the ability to get you to 5% hit rating. If you're missing as a feral druid, your damage will just be chopped in half. Literally, it will be chopped in half, because if you miss a shred or if you miss a bleed that you're constantly using global cooldowns and time that you could be using to do other things, it's just not worth it. So you really need to gem and reforge everything to get your 5% hit, and then after you've got your 5% hit, you work on other things. Now, weapon damage, obviously you can't reforge or gem or enchant for weapon damage, but you'll definitely want to get a high end weapon. If you're just starting off as feral, you'll want to get a high end weapon. So I recommend looking for like a blacksmith polearm or a staff or whatever, or if you have the sufficient funds, you can buy the PvP weapon, the Season 9 one if you're grinding honor, or you can buy the Season 10 weapon if you have enough conquest points. Next, the best thing that you could possibly get as a feral druid, the best stat that you can get, is agility. Agility works just like strength does for rogues, strength does for warriors even, duh. And it will basically just increase the damage of everything you do. Next is mastery. Mastery increases all of your damage from your bleeds, so you'll always want to reforge to it, and you'll pretty much always want to gear for it, unless of course you're not at the hit cap, in which case then you'll definitely want to get the hit cap. But that's why there's a priority system with these stats. So next is crit. Crit enables you to generate extra combo points through a talent. And then haste. Haste doesn't really do much. A lot of people say, oh, haste is really good for feral, but it's really not. Haste is really not that good for feral. The only reason why you would ever pick up haste is if you had loads of it on your gear already, because you have to get such a lot of haste for it to actually do anything to your damage output, that it's just not worth it, and you might as well just pick up mastery to get better results in the end. So basically, just to recap, the priority system as far as stats go for ferals is hit rating, weapon damage, agility, mastery, crit, and haste. Now, don't judge me on elitist jerks. Don't go to elitistjerks.com and type in what's the best damage, what's the best stats for feral druids, and then like I've got one out of place or something like that. If there's one out of place, then fair enough, but elitist jerks isn't always right, especially for PvP. So let's move on to the next thing we're going to talk about in the Feral Guide. So thanks for sticking around to watch the end of the video, guys. Thank you to DJ Ephixa for allowing me to use his music in my videos. The Advanced Feral Guide will be uploaded within the next few weeks. I've got loads of schoolwork I need to be doing, so I can't really do it just yet. But other than that, thank you for watching, and don't forget to throw this video a thumbs up, a favorite, and leave a comment if you have any questions at all. If you like what I did here, you can go and check out my personal YouTube channel at youtube.com/MrPeanutButter96. The link will be in the description as always, and if you guys want to check me out and want to get notified as to when I upload stuff on my personal channel, then you can hit that yellow subscribe button and you can be notified straight away by just looking at your subscription box. So that's it for me, guys. I'll see you all next time. Peace.